All right, hello. Can everybody hear me? All right, cool. I'm pretty sure everybody knows me, but I'm Walk. I just want to say a couple words. Thank you all for attending this. Hopefully, we can have some fun, get some laughs out of this, and I'll hand it over to Silix.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Um, so here's how this is going to work. Each candidate will get 2 minutes to make a speech, outlining what their campaign goals were. And then after the 2 minutes are up, then we will be moving on to 6 debate questions. Okay, so Mr. cannot read your name. Mr. Mashed Potato, you may begin your speech.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, so I'm Potato. Most of you guys probably know me. I've been a member of PARP for about 3 years this September, been on staff team for about two of that. My goals for this campaign were to more focus on issues with our road systems and, um, sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the word. Can't think of it. Oh, right. Sorry. And like our certain laws, like stricter gun laws, crime issues in the community. Um, I've partnered with both UPMC and CivOps to try and help with that, as well as Sotara Public Tech Works. Um, no, sorry, I'm lagging. I do not know. Right. Overall, I just want to improve the quality of the server as much as I can and try and help some of the less fortunate people in the community. That's all I had.
All right, thank you. I don't. IDK no spare. You may begin your speech.
Okay, hello, I'm Spare. Some of you may know me. I plan to stop the violence and create a community where everybody in Dauphin County can feel welcome with one another. We don't need to be out. We need to make sure that our law enforcement has enough funding to work with our fellow security departments to make sure gun violence is low. We're just here for safety, and I want the citizens of PARP to feel welcome together. We also want to try and create a community where events could be held, and at these events, we'll make sure safety is there. What's the word? Mm, mm. We will also be up to listen to the community. So if any one of you has any questions or concerns about the state of Dauphin County, you will always be able to ask, and we will try to implement that to the best we can. I am here to adapt, and my main plan is to just make sure everybody will be able to live well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. I don't know. GuyBoybigman, you may begin your speech.
All right, y'all. My name is GuyBoybigman. I'm pleased to be here beneath the people of Pennsylvania, where the real leadership begins. It's an honor to speak with you today, my friends, my neighbors, and the backbone of this city. I'm running for mayor because our community deserves more than recycled slogans and empty promises. We deserve a leader who not only speaks but listens. Too often, the voices of everyday people are drowned out by policies as usual. That ends now. Listening is not a courtesy, it's a responsibility, and as mayor, it will be the foundation of how I lead. But let's be clear, listening alone is not enough. Our city needs action. Action that strengthens our neighborhoods, supports our families, and restores trust in local government. I will fight to make our streets safer, our parks cleaner, and our youth empowered. I will support small business, the backbone of our economy, and stand with the working class because their success is our city's strength. Now let's talk about the other candidates. Some of them are delusional. They talk about things that aren't even in the mayor's jurisdiction. They promise federal reforms from a city office. They confuse headlines with job descriptions. Let me be blunt. If you don't know the boundaries of the office, you do not belong in it. I've led under pressure. I've led in the real world. I led Blackwater Security through its prime, overseeing operations that protected VIPs, rebuilt infrastructure, and kept chaos at bay in combat zones. I know what leadership looks like when lives are on the line, and I know what it takes to protect a city. And those who question my age or experience, I'll borrow a line from Ronald Reagan. I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I'm not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience. I believe in a future where every resident has a voice, and that voice is heard with respect and dignity. Pennsylvania has always been defined by hardworking people with big hearts. I'm determined to make sure that our city reflects that spirit, a city that is safe, vibrant, and full of opportunity. This campaign is not about me, it's about us. It's about the kind of future we want for our children and grandchildren. I'm asking for your trust, not to lead, but to serve. I will serve with humility, with honesty, and with pride in this great state we call home. And to my opponents, if you think this job is about photo ops and platitudes, think again. This isn't student council, this is city leadership. And I didn't come here to play politics, I came here to win. Thank you, God bless our city, God bless the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and to the rest of the field, step aside. Grown-ups at the podium.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Guyboy. As of now, we will be starting our debate questions. I will firstly say out the debate question, and we will start from Mr. Mashed Potato going down to GuyBoybigman. And then I will also type out the questions in case you guys cannot hear it properly. Just give me a quick second. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Your first question, debate question, is what will you do to make sure gun control is enforced? Mr. Mashed Potato, you have the floor.
I plan to work with our local law enforcement agencies, PSP, HPD, etc., to try and crack down on the issue with unregistered firearms and like illegally purchased firearms, like ghost guns. Hopefully, not introducing, but lobbying support for red flag laws, things of that nature. And overall, just trying to reduce the amount of firearms that a civilian can own without, to make them not as much of a risk to the general public. I understand that people care about their safety and also their activities that involve firearms, like hunting, but there's no need for the average civilian to own more than one firearm, in my opinion. That's all I had for that one.
All right. Mr. I don't know.
All right. We will also be working with our local law departments. We will be restricting guns in certain areas like your city parks, your government buildings, and your large event areas. We will make sure that we set up programs in order to stop the distribution of guns. We will let civilians turn in their guns for a cash prize or a coupon. We will offer services to civilians who may witness some trauma. We will also make sure that our law enforcement partners can have the funding for the certain operations they may get to find these guns and contrabands that people may have. And that's all I have to say.
All right. And GuyBoybigman.
So I agree a lot with what Potato said. I agree with making sure that guns don't get put into the wrong hands. I also agree that we should be cracking down more on people who illegally possess firearms. However, in no world should we ever restrict the amount of firearms a person can hold. That's an infringement of the Second Amendment as well. I cannot promise to you that I will make any federal changes within a mayoral power, because that's not possible. What I plan to do to help crack down on, our gun issue is we need to give the power to law enforcement. As well, we need to crack down on prosecutors who are giving very weak charges to people who commit a crime with a gun. If you commit a crime with a gun, you should go to jail. As simple as that. We should no longer let people who commit crimes with a firearm walk away free.
All right. Thank you. Our second question is, hold on. Copy this. How will you make sure that murder rates are lower to none? What? How will you make sure that murder rates will go down to lower or none? Mr.
All right.
Potato, you have the floor.
Sorry. All right. So to lower our crime rates, we really need to start by addressing root causes and the immediate issues that cause them. We need to give people, especially our younger citizens, opportunities to steer them away from crimes, like investing in investing in after-school programs, job opportunities, and community centers where our younger populations can have a positive place to go. On the other hand, we also need to make sure our police departments are fully equipped to handle crime that already is in place. This means increased patrols in high crime areas, faster response times, and technology. I'll also create a system where communities can report issues safely and anonymously so we can stop smaller problems before they can grow into a larger issue. Hopefully, by combining prevention, enforcement, and trust, we can bring high crime rates down and make Harrisburg safer for everyone. That's all I had.
Mr. I don't know, you have the floor.
Okay, I agree with what my potato said. We will look at these hotspots because there are certain areas that these shootings may happen. We will make sure murder rates will be lower by enforcing our law enforcement partners into those hotspots. We will target vendors of murder crimes. They are not out in the streets trying to cause another homicide. We will be stricter with our curriculars. We will make that non troublemakers, criminals back out on the street, prevent the murder. Set out the smaller programs that will help the youth stay clear of the path of violence and go back to the path of education. As an example, high schoolers activities, we can make sure that our youth does not go into the path of violence. That's all I have.
Mr. Guyboy, you have the stage.
So I agree with a lot of what was said, but there's a few things. Again, I do agree that we should start with our youth. We should target low-income neighborhoods because it's not a secret that low-income neighborhoods is where most crime happens. If we can set up youth programs to hopefully steer them away from a life of crime as well, I'm going to have increased police presence and police time targeting gangs and other groups, as that is where a lot of violent crime happens as well. This also happens in low-income areas. As well, broader police presence in these low-income neighborhoods is important. The more they see the police, the more they are deterred away from crime. As well, it goes back to these prosecutors who don't prosecute violent offenders as they should be prosecuted. That's wrong. I'm going to make sure that these prosecutors are out of here so we can focus being tough on crime and making sure that people like that are not on our streets.
Thank you, Mr. Guyboy. On to our third question. Let's see here. One, two, this one. None. Oh. Alright. As we are in the middle of our debate questions, we are going to take this time to allow the candidates to call out each other or um, ask the other candidates questions about what they have said so far.
Candidates, he means you guys can ask each other questions.
Can anyone go anytime?
Yes.
Well, I've heard a lot of things out of you two. In the state of Pennsylvania, the state legislature makes the gun laws, not the mayor itself. So I was just wondering how you guys are going to plan on controlling guns when you yourselves are trying to do things that are not possible for you two to do.
So I misspoke in one of my uh, like answers that I had prepared. I will not be controlling them. I'm going to be trying to lobby for those restrictions. I understand that I'm not able to make gun laws. I'm not trying to do that. I hope to lobby and grow support in our community to try and crack down on gun control and make it safer for everybody in the community.
All right. As for me, I know I will not be able to make big actions, but as mayor, that does not me. Does not stop me from uh, communicating with the state or others with my ideas, with the community as a whole. If I am able to get everyone on together on the same point, we will be able to have a say, and that may cause a difference with the gun laws within Pennsylvania or Dauphin County itself.
Now, I would like to point out, Pennsylvania voted red in the last election. You guys are pushing very, very unpopular ideas through, especially for the people of Pennsylvania. Maybe not for the city of Harrisburg, but I would like to make it known that you're probably going to go, one ear out the other with your guys' gun control ideas.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm not trying to win over the entire state of Pennsylvania. I'm trying to win over Harrisburg and serve this community. I understand that overall the state voted red. I personally don't agree with that, but that's out of my control. The overall state is going to vote how they want to vote. I just hope to influence and gain the trust of the people of Harrisburg, not just the entire state.
I also understand that, but a small difference could be a big change up. Just because the state of Pennsylvania voted red, that does not mean the city of Harrisburg also has to abide by that. At some point in time, my idea can grow bigger. If I don't start somewhere, it will never start now. And I'd rather start now than start never.
Okay. Moving on to our next couple of questions. Here we go. Let's see. This is the first one. How would you foster a culture of transparency and accountability in City Hall? What specific actions would you take to ensure residents feel their voices are heard in the decision-making processes?
Would you mind repeating the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. How would you foster a culture of transparency and accountability in City Hall? What specific actions would you take to ensure residents feel their voices are heard in the decision-making process?
So overall, and yeah, I hope to. Am I muted? I might be. I wasn't. Okay, sorry. Um, overall, I want to make sure the citizens of Harrisburg's voices are heard. I want to listen to them as much as possible, and hopefully, you. I want to mirror their choices and their views in my candidacy. I hope to also make sure that everybody feels safe giving support for who they actually want to vote for, who they actually want to support. I will be fully transparent here. I was not prepared for this kind of question, so I'm a little thrown off right now. But oh yeah, no, I didn't prepare for that question. All right, full transparency. I wasn't prepared for that. That's my bad. Please move on to no spare, and then I will try and prepare a little bit better next time.
I don't know, you may begin.
Okay. I'll start with making sure people's voices are heard by one moment. Okay. I'll make sure voices are heard by broadcasting everything. People will need to know what's being debated here. Nothing will be secretive, and I'll come together with other people. I'll make sure that I can open my data, if that makes sense. I'll share data on the city. I'll share on the housing health. I'll make sure people know what's going on here and there. As for the transparency, I will have access for everyone. There will be multilingual access. It's just everybody will be heard, and I will take every matter to myself, sign it off, and see if anything else could be done here. Right. This was a question I wasn't prepared for, so there's not a lot to say. GuyBoybigman can speak now.
I am glad that they were so transparent as to tell you guys that they were not prepared. However, how I will be transparent with you guys is I've ran Blackwater. I'm a head insert. I was high ranking in Harrisburg Police Department. I'm very fortunate enough to have people that were under me that know I'm a straight shooter. I do not hide what's going on. I have not hid the state of Harrisburg this entire debate. I tell you how it is, and I tell you how I'm going to fix it. And how you know I'm telling you the straight truth is because you're going to see the results. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now, and you're going to see it here very soon, what's going on.
All right. Let's try this. Our second question, how would you improve the relationship between the police department and the community, particularly in marginalized neighborhoods? And what does community-oriented policing mean to you?
Personally, to me, community-oriented policing means more police officers getting involved with communities, not in crime fighting situations in getting to know their community events hosted by the police, uh, helping out with certain communities, patrolling foot patrols, not trying to having the law enforcement of our city seem less of like a higher power to everybody else. I personally have grown up in less fortunate areas, and I understand the benefit of community focused policing. I also hope to try and get more police involvement in our smaller communities, setting up smaller not stations, but community outreach areas where a person can go if they need help. That can also relate back to my previous point about after school care. That would be a wonderful spot for people to stay, do homework, stuff of that nature, and hopefully make people understand that our law enforcement is here to help and they are doing their best to make our community a better place. That's all I had for that one.
All right, sorry to. Can you repeat the question once more?
How would you improve the relationship between the police departments and the community, particularly in marginalized neighborhoods? What does community-oriented policing mean to you?
Okay, for relationship, I think the main reason why the community as a whole does not like the police department is the way social media bends things and makes your law enforcement officer seem like the bad guy. I'll increase the social media posts. I'll have the police officers, your law enforcement officers, attend community events, be more visible at school, neighborhood meetings, uh, businesses. I'll make sure your law enforcement will be able to have a more slow and calm approach to situations that the people may not like. Your hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, People will have a say about what they want the law enforcement in the local area to do. Do they want to control gun violence? Do they want more traffic safety? It all depends on the community, and I'll make sure their voice is also heard in order for their law enforcement partners to go by what the community wants. That's all I have.
Alrighty, so I think it's very important that our police departments have a big social media presence. Now, the reason for that is people kind of look at police officers differently as kind of a sort of they're not like, them. The more they work in social media, the more people will look at them more of a relatable figure as well. In marginalized neighborhoods, I believe it's very important for officers to work on their feet more. I believe in foot patrols as a valuable way to kind of connect with the community. As well, a higher presence of officers within those marginalized communities. The reason for that is I want people to see cops almost as an everyday person. The more a person looks at a cop as a different person and thinking that they're not the same, that is when a divide starts. The more a cop is around, the more you see the humanity of their job and just them. I think the more, of a connection will be made between the community and then police officers.
Alright. Question is, what will you do to help small businesses in their growth? And what will you do to motivate them?
Right. So, as some of you probably know, I am partnered with Civil Ops itself, who, obviously are kind of an umbrella corporation to help smaller businesses grow and develop into a larger, more sustainable company. My parents personally run a business. I know the not the I won't say the ins and outs because that's a weird way of saying it, but I know what it takes to run a business. I know it's difficult. I know it's complicated. I know it takes a lot of money and effort. I hope to lower taxes on not lower taxes, but try and help grow support for these businesses, especially the smaller ones. This isn't even a jab at Guy Big Boy Man. I'm just naming a company, not like towards like Blackwater Security, more towards like Rick and John's, stuff like that. Helping these smaller communities that don't have outside help or nearly as much as some other organizations might. That's all for that one.
All right. The problem for small communities is the lack of funding they have. It could be very troublesome for a family business to grow when they have limited money to spend. We can help this by opening programs here and there. They'll be able to take out loans, they'll be able to get funding from some charities that I will be able to host. We have multiple things I could do, and I will support them. The small businesses will be able to reach out to me, and their requests will be heard and shared publicly. Uh, Another thing that stops small businesses from growing is advertising. It could be expensive to advertise for small businesses. I will be getting in touch with your local news network to basically go around these small businesses and help the community know that they are there. For example, we got Rick and John's. Rick and John's is a very good place. I've been there, but the community does not know much about them. If advertising was just a small part of their, how do I say it? A small part of their system, they'll be able to get as much customers for their funding, and that's what I would do. I'll help with advertising. I'll help with the setup, the growth. I'll help with the programs in order for these small businesses to rise and grow. That's all I have.
Alrighty, so growing businesses, it's not about just starting here. It's also about bringing business in elsewhere. Now, how we're going to do that is tax breaks. Giving corporation tax breaks incentivizes moving your company from somewhere like, I don't know, LA, New York, Chicago, places with high tax rates. If you cut your taxes here on businesses, corporations, they'll be more likely to move here. That's because we're giving them an incentive. In Harrisburg right now, one of the highest taxing things for a business is called a business privilege tax. And the tax is, it's described as the privilege of doing business in this city. Now, it is not a privilege to do business here. It's an honor for us to have your business. So that is why we are going to cut down their taxes so businesses don't have to be burdened by a higher tax rate, and then they can continue to allocate more of that money back into their business, which goes back into the economy, which provides better competition and innovation.
All right. Now the floor is open for candidates to ask each other questions or call them out. Anyone may begin.
I guess, yeah. So for small business, Potato, I guess my question for you is, oh, sorry. Actually, let me redirect this question. Now I see Rynappel here on stage. Rynappel, it appears that your campaign has been slandering mine this entire time. I wanted to call you out in front of everyone and ask why you thought it was appropriate to try and slander my campaign in benefit of yours.
Also, real quick, if I can add on to that towards Ryan, it doesn't even seem like it's just towards Guy's campaign. It feels like it's targeted towards everybody else. I think creating a hostile environment in the candidacy is overall is overall a bad look on both your candidacy and can create misunderstanding and issues with the rest of the candidates.
I think you all sound like AI and are taking this really seriously. I slandered you because you deserve to be slandered. I'm the only good candidate here. And I got up at 5 a.m. for this.
Well, I guess we look at how you guys set up your campaign here. I looked at the people working your campaign. They all suck. I'm just letting you know.
Whoa.
Your
I support
campaign
my staff.
workers slandering everyone. You yourself slandering everyone. Yeah, I looked at all the
Give me
businesses and all the
examples.
departments that decided to endorse people. I noticed you had none of them.
I'd like examples, and I don't have big corporations backing me, alright? I don't need big corporations because I'm going to win anyways.
So it sounds like no one is supporting your campaign. Is kind of what
Sounds like big corporations aren't supporting my campaign because I'm a citizen. I'm not part of any staff. I'm not part of any what do you call it? Any departments. I don't need people to back me. I got the people on my side.
I that's not true at all. Actually, I've seen about 3 people back you.
3 people. 3 people. It's a lot more than that.
There's more than that. I haven't seen them.
Who's
Where are they
backing
at?
you up?
Right? I didn't know there was a silent majority.
Who are you? Who's speaking? Oh, you're Guy Boy. Who the hell is that?
I'm the guy that's about to win this election. That's who I am.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. I've never heard of you till now.
Well, all right then. We'll see.
Any other questions? Or any examples of my misconduct? Because I can't think of any.
Well, that's all we've gotten from you is misconduct. I don't think there's been
Like, give me an example.
anything else.
Do you have an example?
Well, so I guess I can pull up the screenshots from your campaign manager.
Give me screenshots. I'll address them. I'd like
All
it
right.
to know just because
So
my campaign
let
manager
me
says
look.
stuff.
Well, yeah,
Doesn't
your campaign
matter.
manager is your campaign manager. He works for you.
Yeah, but they also have private conversations in their own life. They have a private life.
Why did
Doesn't
you?
matter. I have control over my campaign manager, but I'm not going to suppress their freedom of speech. That's my whole entire debate. I'm about freedom of speech, and my campaign manager has affairs of his own that he can deal with. So
Oh,
that's up
well,
to
I'm
him.
also sorry for interrupting. I'm also looking at screenshots of you saying you're going to lower inflation. That's not you. You're a mayor,
Screenshots. I'd like to
and
see
you're going to
those.
consult the president.
I don't remember saying that.
Also, quote unquote, this is your campaign manager speaking. Quote, how about you shut the fuck up and go away? End quote. So we're running
Yeah, well,
a
did you
real
listen to what
tight
I said?
campaign here.
Did you listen to what I said just before about my campaign manager?
You have done nothing
These are
about
just
it, it
words.
appears.
This is not evidence. This is just words. I'll tell you what I will do if I'm mayor. I said, this is what I've said. I said I'll set up a committee and I'll put a lot of civilians on it and we'll consult them for issues rather than just, making decisions ourselves. It's about consulting the civilians, not just making the mayor making all the decisions. That's what I said. That's what I said I will do. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, how am I supposed to trust you to set up this committee when you can't even get a campaign manager that doesn't tell everyone to shut the fuck up?
Oh, why does that matter? Because I'm gonna win this anyway. So I think you should just resign. It's not worth it.
I don't know about that. I don't think.
Thread chat here, and I don't think I've seen a single person supporting you, in all honesty.
Who are you talking to, Guy?
everybody is booing. I don't understand how you believe that when pretty much everybody here is supporting one of the three other candidates.
Hold on, it's cold in here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will be changing the floor. What will happen now is 5 people in the audience will be allowed to ask any question to the audience as they would. If you are in the audience or in VC, our Discord moderators will choose one person to vote. If you raise your hand, you can ask the question. But for now, please be respectful. Don't get obviously too personal. Make it in the realistic terms of role play. But you can raise your hand in Discord, and you will be allowed to ask a question.
But if you respond to the question, just don't respond with AI.
Yo, can y'all hear me? I got the first question, man.
Yeah.
So I heard everyone talking about all these policies, they plan to implement, and all these things they're doing for the city. And I heard someone talk about things they want to do for the courts. Do y'all understand that the mayor doesn't have much control of what the courts does, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure you have a clear understanding on that. Anybody else have an answer to that?
Understand that? I wasn't sure whose point that was. Like, I don't remember who said that, but
Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but I do remember hearing it.
yeah. No,
We don't
I'm
have
aware that I do
control,
not have that kind of control in this position.
but we have
Okay,
influence.
I think I understand what you're saying. So I was speaking on prosecutors and getting rid of elected prosecutors. Now I see where the issue comes that I do not have the power to remove a prosecutor. They're independently elected. However, as a mayor, you have a voice, and I can use that voice to get rid of these prosecutors and campaign on, hey, please. I mean, you got to lobby for removing these prosecutors because to lower crime rates, you have to remove this prosecutor. He is soft and he needs to go.
Okay. I have a follow-up question for all the candidates. Someone like me, I feel like I'm targeted a lot in game, because of my popularity and my status in the community. And whenever I call law enforcement, it takes them like 2 years to show up. So what can you do about that?
Well, it all starts with lowering crime rates as it is. And I've already answered that. However, what I want is to broaden where we patrol because if we are all in one place, then response times are going to be slower, obviously. Now, obviously, we need to stay in to low income areas. So this creates an issue where it becomes we need to work on employing more people into our police department. That's where it all comes from. The more people we can employ into our police departments, the quicker response times will be, the more officers we have on the street, and the faster we can get to calls.
All right, thank you for your time. That'll be all for me.
Hello there. Question for Ryan here.
Yep.
I'd like to know your personal opinions on what your campaign manager has been saying about me specifically. So it was said in a thread, funny how Guy Boy's campaign manager is a 14-year-old drunk. What do you think about him saying that and proceeding to insult me personally?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. He's an independent man. Some things he says I don't endorse, and I have spoken to him about that. But at the end of the day, he has a private life that I'm not necessarily willing to shut down. He says things in accordance with freedom of speech and stuff. But yeah, I don't endorse some of the words he said. I have control over him, who the gay rev in the chat. I mean, I don't control him like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. He is my campaign manager. He works for me, and I've told him about who's saying bad things. How dare you? And yeah, I don't endorse him saying that, but it's a separate issue. I've talked to him about it, and things have changed. So, yeah.
Either you can ask your question.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
can hear you.
All right, so what do you plan to do about like departmental funding and organized crime within the city?
Let someone else go first.
Now, I do believe in allocating more funds to our police departments and having a larger presence against organized crime. Now, when I say that is having a larger presence, I mean using more of a show of force. I like our tactical teams. We have a lot of tactical teams around here. Organized crime, the more police presence we have around here, the more organized crime will have to stray away from being in Harrisburg because it's an unsafe business for them here. If we can make organized crime unsafe here, then they're going to have to flee to other cities like New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, places like that.
Do any other candidates wish to speak?
I'll just quickly say that when I become mayor, if you people vote me, I'm going to form a committee with a lot of people. I've already talked to people about being on this committee, but it's going to be about putting the decisions in the hands of civilians. So these are topics we will discuss among numerous things. That's all I got to say.
Wait, let me speak up. How are you supposed to do all of this if you can't even control your own campaign manager?
How many times do I have to say this? I've answered this question like 3 times. I'm not a dictator. He's not my puppet. I do not control the words coming out of his mouth. And I've said many times I don't necessarily agree with every single thing he said. But it's not the end of the world. He's got his own affairs. I've talked to him about it, and it's done. Not the end of the world. It's not that hard pressed. You should ask about me, not my manager. It's not. You're making a huge deal out of nothing. So.
Okay then, we could just continue.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah. So, we the people, we're kind of curious of where you first plan to visit after each one of you guys are in office.
I'll be in Jerusalem day one, probably.
Whoa.
Probably the first place I'll visit.
Damn. I won't.
I plan to visit more around like the local shop. Go ahead, Ryan. It's my bad. Sorry. My bad.
No, it's all good. Go.
I plan to visit like the more local shops around Harrisburg. Try and really get myself familiar with community members, local leaders, stuff like that.
I have respect for you for saying that, but I think that was Guy who said he's going to Jerusalem. That's pretty horrible. You're gonna leave the first day and go somewhere else. You're not gonna fix the problems in your own city. You're just running away from them.
That's
Where
not
are
what I
you
said at
going?
all.
You said you're going to Jerusalem.
Yeah,
Why are you
I'll
going
be
to
there and
Jerusalem?
visit. Yes. I will visit Jerusalem, yes.
Why? Why aren't you in the city? What has Jerusalem got to do with running of Pennsylvania?
It actually doesn't have anything to do with running Pennsylvania.
So you're wasting your time, basically, and you should be working.
I don't believe it's a waste of time, no. It's a sacred land.
But what are you doing there? It's not part of your job. You're the mayor.
We are going to move
Doesn't
on to the
matter.
next question. Thank you. Because Andrew, you are the last question for the night or the morning, wherever anyone is. You're the last question. There's Andrew.
While
Oh,
Andrew's not responding, I'm going
put
to
it in the
add my
chat.
follow-up point. Basically,
no, trouble.
yeah.
Alexander asked his question in chat. We're
It's
trying
in
to keep
the
this
chat.
going. Sorry.
Do you want me to read it out or something?
I'll read this question for you. If government exists to impose order upon human chaos, yet chaos itself is the natural state of existence, then is the role of a mayor an act of harmonizing with human nature or an act of perpetual resistance against it? Why?
That's a deep question, Xander. I don't know how to answer that. That's not really a political question.
I would like that question to be read out one more time.
Right, I got you.
It's a mouthful.
Or I'll say it a little slower. If government exists to impose order upon human chaos, yet chaos itself is the natural state of existence, then is the role of a mayor an act of harmonizing with human nature or an act of perpetual resistance against it? Why?
Well, that doesn't. I mean,
I
you
think
could
I just
say that.
disagree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
By
that's
the
more
way,
like a
this is not my
philosophy
question.
question than
By
it
the
is.
way, this is not my question. I'm reading it for someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's Xander's question. I personally feel that's more like a, I want to say philosophy, but more like a deep personal opinion question than it is relating to a mayoral candidacy.
Yeah. I mean, what he said.
I think I just disagree with the idea that chaos is just merely existing.
Yeah. I think we need a better question than that.
I would say that our job is to keep at bay chaos. However, chaos is not just merely existing. I disagree with that.
What are you gonna do? Just disband the government because chaos is inevitable?
It's not what I said.
No,
That is not at all what I said.
Talking to Xander, because he's saying if government exists to impose human order, but chaos is a natural state of existence, you can't just get rid of government because of that. We're just living normal and hoping all goes well.
Right.
So we probably need a better question.
Walk, do you have anything else you want to say? I think we're going to actually wrap this up.
Oh,
Do you want to say anything?
oh yeah. We're going to wrap this up. I appreciate everybody for coming out. All the mayor candidates. Good luck to you all. Tomorrow is going to be the primary election, so make sure you guys come out and vote. The voting is going to happen in the same place that you are in right now. Well, not the auditorium, but before you guys walk in, there's a little station right there. You can't miss it. There's going to be voting. The voting will start. Actually, I'll tell an announcement when the voting starts. But yeah, make sure you guys go out and vote. This is going to determine the last two candidates. So there's five. Well, there's five candidates. One is in here. So the five names that are up here are going to be on the ballot, and only two people will be left standing to vote in the final election, which is the 25th of August. Yeah, the voting is in game.
Basically, I'll try to re-explain this. Sorry, Walk. When you spawned in at the very front entrance, to your right will be a panel that has a list of all the five candidates, and you will select the candidate you wish to do, and then you have there's a button that you have to hit confirm to the right once you've selected the candidate you choose to vote for. If you do not hit confirm, your vote will not go through. I will make photos in the announcement for you to understand exactly what you're doing. Yep. And just a reminder, if you do not have 4 hours of playing time in ERLC ever since April 14th is when our data started tracking you, you will not be allowed to vote. So you must have 4 hours in game. Yeah, that's all for me.
Other than that, like I said earlier, I appreciate everybody for coming out. Hopefully everybody had a good time. For those that were kind of sorry, some of those that were kind of, going back and forth up here, this is all just fun and games at the end of the day. So hopefully nobody is crying because, it's all just fun and games. But I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else enjoyed it. And yeah, good luck out there, everybody.